Seriously? Another 9 minutes? Do you guys not watch any news at all? Hey, everybody. Technical difficulties here at Policing the Police tonight. So sorry about that. I have gone live 2 or 3 times now and had to back out because we didn't have sound. I think we have sound. Everything on the board looks like it's, equalizing. I don't know much about equalizing, but I know when that little green bar goes up and down, it means that I'm being heard somewhere. I can hear it here. So let me know if you're out there and you cannot hear me. Comment below. If you can hear me, comment below. I'm just curious to know. Shannon commented a while ago that the sound wasn't working, and I appreciate that because I could have gone the whole hour. Not that I'm going to go an hour, but I have 2 videos for you tonight. I'm going to start with both of them are going to piss you off. I mean, if you're anything like me. But I'm going to start with the more benign one. At least in the first video, nobody dies. The second video just makes me livid. I'm just absolutely beside myself. What's wrong with you police officers in this video? Do you not watch any news? You live under a rock? Never heard of George Floyd, Derek Chauvin? Didn't know you can go to prison for this. I hope there is swift justice for these police officers, and I believe you will too. So this has been hidden for quite some time. It's just recently come out that the body cam was leaked. So what we're playing you is not an official released body cam by the police department. It was leaked. Probably by a police officer that believes in policing the police. At Stand Against Dark Blue, we talk about the blue code of silence and what the blue code of silence means. The blue code of silence is it's evil, and it allows evil to exist and to thrive in police departments. And when you have a situation like the one we're going to show you tonight, and you falsify reports over it, and somebody's dead because of your actions, and you say it happened in a car wreck. That's what these police officers did. There was a car chase. A little background. The gentleman was scared. He ran from the police. Clearly in the video, you can hear him saying, "I'm sorry," and apologizing 6 ways to Sunday that he ran from the police. But they're not hearing it. So it's unfortunate. Let me first go to Louisville, Kentucky, and we'll start with this one. This boy here made the unfortunate mistake of driving while black in a town that the police department believes in pretextual stops for drug enforcement. And what I mean by pretextual is they will come up with a reason, any reason, to pull you over, whether they intend to write you a citation for it or not, in an effort to get inside your car. And they'll bring the drug dog around after the stop, and they'll in Tennessee, they'll do a free air sniff and walk the dog around your car. In this one, they let the dog run all through the car. It just makes me angry. And you can tell this boy was trying to do the right thing. He was 10-2 when the cop approached, and well, just watch. So he stopped here for making a wide right turn. So he's turning from a right-hand lane and he's going into, I think it's 2 lanes, but he went into the farther lane. And that's the reason for the stop.
I got him. What's going on, man?
What's up?
You know, I'm 74. Man, when you turned on here onto Dixie, or 18th Street, you turned in the far left lane, you're supposed to turn in the right lane. See how there's 2 lanes?
Okay, sorry, I had my mic down. Notice how respectful this kid is. He's got his window rolled all the way down. He's not one of these First Amendment auditors that's challenging the cop's authority. He's got his hands where the cop can see them. He clearly is showing respect to this police officer. To no avail.
Reason why, man. Are there any weapons in the car? No drugs? Awesome, man. Do you have your ID?
I have everything.
No, you ain't got any guns, all right? You good, buddy? I'm sorry?
I'm at work today.
Oh, you got to speak up. It's all this.
Nothing.
You saying something about work?
Yeah. Just have to go do something. You go ahead and check it, man. Let's go ahead and check it.
Okay, I will, man. Awesome. So do you still live on Lewis Morris Drive? What part of town's that in?
Parkville Ball.
Oh, it's Parkville? I got you, man. Awesome. Do you have your insurance, too? That's a crazy ringtone.
Yes.
So the cop's being jovial. Oh, that's a crazy ringtone. Trying to be his buddy and all. That ends here pretty quick. This is mom calling. I don't know why she's calling. Well, I do too know why she's calling. Apparently, this cop had been following this kid around because he's a black kid in a nice car. It's probable cause for a stop, right? For some, well, I don't have any evidence that this cop is a racist, but he certainly pretextually stopped this kid for a very minor reason, and it really escalates fast.
Yeah, pull it over. Mom's on speaker.
That's cool, man.
So he put his mom on speaker and he set it up on the dash, or set it in his lap, I think.
Do me a favor, put your hands on the steering wheel.
What you opening up the door for?
Yeah, man, do me a favor, grab your phone and your wallet, stick it on the seat.
Why?
Because I'm telling you, or it's going to fall out when you get out of the vehicle.
Why are you taking me out the vehicle?
I'll move it up here for you.
Mama, they taking me out the vehicle.
Don't hop out?
Get out of the car. They telling me to get out the car now.
And that's the reason why I didn't want anything on you. I didn't want to break your phone, brother.
Right.
You don't have any weapons on you, do you?
I don't.
No drugs?
Nope.
Awesome, man. And turn around, put your hands on the car for me. Switch feet.
I don't. I even did anything. Why are you checking me for?
I didn't say you did anything. So you don't have any.
Why did you take me out the car?
Do you have any drugs, weapons on you?
I don't.
Like
I told you that
you
when
mind
you
if
asked
I
me
check?
the first time. I do mine.
Okay, awesome. Well, I'm gonna make sure you don't have any weapons, okay?
No.
Yeah, pat you down.
Take a step off the vehicle,
Why
please.
me down?
Yeah,
So Shannon says maybe it's because it's a different area, but I rarely have 2 officers on each side during a traffic stop. But I seem to see it often when men are being pulled over. Do you think that matters as much as race in some areas? So I am not as critical about multiple officers on the scene of a traffic stop. These 2 officers are working together in a task force, and their only job is to, and you'll hear one of these cops say it in a minute, we're going to pull 30 more people over after you. That's all they do. Pretextually look for stops, even minor reasons, following too closely, maybe not using your turn signal, whatever they can find, and they pull you over. And their ultimate goal is to get into your car and to search it. This cop tells this boy he was suspicious because his mother called and he put her on speaker. And so let's hear what his reasoning for in Tennessee and in most states, in every state, it's legal for a cop to ask you to step out of the car. He doesn't need probable cause of a crime to ask you to step out of a car. He doesn't need reasonable suspicion. It is a inconvenience that the courts have allowed, and they said it's a minor inconvenience. And when weighed against the personal safety concerns of the police officer, it's one that the courts are willing to allow. So if the cop wants you out of the car, he can ask you to step out of the car. You can't refuse to get out of the car, not legally. And the way he did it with this boy was condescending. Grabbed him by the hands like he's a 6-year-old and led him out of the car. Maybe he thought he was going to run. I don't know. I've pulled over cars before where when we go to, there's evidence of drugs or, whatever, and we go to search the car and the driver takes off running and we end up in a foot chase. And so maybe he was trying to prevent that. I'm giving him a lot of grace, but I disagree with it. I disagree with their tactics. I disagree with the overall objective of this task force. It's just an abusive use of power, in my opinion.
They took me off the car.
We're allowed to do that.
No, man.
All right, sir, we can come back to the rear of the car. Do me a favor, put your butt against the car. So you say I can't search, so can I search the car?
No.
Quit doing the clenching your fist thing, too.
Dude, that's some bull.
What's bullcrap?
Okay. I know I stop these videos a lot and I critique them. That's what we do on this channel. Watch this kid's hands. He's not clenching his fists in a aggressive manner. Well, let me ask you, do you think this is aggressive? Watch his fists.
Say I can't search, so can I search the car?
No.
Quit doing the clenching your fist thing, too.
Dude, that's some bull.
What's bullcrap?
The only day I got off, I just want to go.
So I didn't see him clenching his fist in a way that made me fear he was going to fight me. That's a nervous little tick that people get nervous when the police pull them over. Your heart pounds. You breathe heavy, you breathe through your mouth. I've pulled people over where I could literally see the pulse in their neck because they were so nervous. I don't consider that a sign of criminal activity. That's normal, especially for a young 16, 17-year-old boy that's being pulled over by the police. It's normal to be nervous when the police pull you over. And all cops know that. He rested his thumb in his, yeah. I didn't take what he was doing to be significant. This cop is he's just wanting the boy to know, I have all the power. I have all the authority. I even have the authority to tell you to quit doing your hands like this. It's an abuse of power. And it's just a show. It's a puffing of his chest, so to speak.
Okay, well,
You'll go
unfortunately, you
home.
did a traffic violation right in front of us. Just do me a favor, hang tight. I'm going to talk to my canine partner, okay?
Hey, whatever. You close my door?
No.
Why?
I can't leave you to go close the door.
Okay.
Quit with the attitude. He's not giving you an attitude, and I'm not giving you an
I
attitude.
understand.
That's a load of crap.
We deal with violent crime all day, every day. We're going to stop 30 more people after you.
And this will be the only time this boy is stopped during the day. He's not been pulled over 30 times by the police. You do this day in, day out. Have some compassion for somebody who's not frequently pulled over by the police, you big fat jackleg.
As soon as we get down here, you'll go home, okay? If you're wasting our time and we're wasting your time, I'm sorry for the small inconvenience. We're allowed to get people out of the car. Your heart is beating through your chest when you're on the phone with your mama and you're narrating to your mom, Mom, I stopped by the police. This is where I'm at. They're getting me out of the car. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
When you do all that, it's a
And you're surrounded by a bunch of white cops with guns and badges in America. So you think a young black kid calling his mom when he's pulled over by the police is evidence of a crime? You think it's evidence of being suspicious? You're a bully. You're a bully, and I can already tell it. And I bet if I saw the other 30 stops you made this night, you'd be a bully in every single one of them. You should be fired. You should absolutely resign and go work for Amazon. You're a bully. You got into policing so you could exert your power and authority over people. You're a bully. And you're just fortunate that this kid doesn't know his rights as well as some people. You know, you try that kind of attitude with somebody like me on the street. That wouldn't get you very far, because I'm not going to let you abuse my constitutional rights or my civil rights.
same thing that people do when they're trying to hide something from the police and they're trying to take the situation off of it. Just like you're looking back at my partner over and over and over again, like you're waiting for him to see something or for him to do something wrong. It's 2018, young man. We all wear body cameras. It's recording all of it. It records your audio, my audio. It records all that. So guess what happens? If there was something in that vehicle and we go to trial over it, guess what? The jury your attitude. Okay? So bring it down.
Yep, the jury's going to see your attitude too, brother. And it's not pretty.
There's no point in it. We're here for you, man. There's a shooting every day. It's crazy. It's sad. It's ridiculous. Ain't nobody been nasty to you at all.
We're here for you, brother. We're just here for you. We put up with the dredge of society so we can protect you. And on our off time, we harass people like you. Because I'm wondering why a 16-year-old black kid is driving such a nice car in a neighborhood like this. That's what he's thinking. What a jerk. What an absolute jerk.
Were you able to coordinate him or anything? Ready? Do me a favor. We're standing right over here away from the dog. Like right where the Ford emblem.
So I'm going to turn down the little music I added. I hope you like the little music I added and this little abuse of authority here. They've got this dog inside his car. Now in Tennessee, we do what's called a free air sniff. You walk them around the car. You don't put them in the car. And maybe that's legal in this particular state. It's an abuse of authority, in my opinion. I mean, he's got this dog all up in his car, in the front seat, in the back seat, in the trunk. It's just absolutely, and they think that this is just normal. We're going to pull this kid over for a very minor traffic violation.
Was it positive?
And they just think this is normal. They just think this is just another day and you just need to suck it up and put your butt on that emblem over there and let us do our job because we're here for you, brother. Makes me want to throw up.
Put your hands on your back real quick.
So they're cuffing him because the dog has allegedly indicated the presence of narcotics. I don't believe it at all. 20% of these dogs are accurate less than 20% of the time. And so if they tell me the dog indicated, that's about the same as me going, yeah, I smell cocaine. It's not possible. Now, is it possible for the dog to be accurate? Yeah, it is. We'll wait and see if the dog actually was accurate in this situation. Does the officer legally need permission to search at this point? It's a great question. The answer is yes, he needs permission to search unless he has a warrant or he has probable cause. In the United States, we have the Carroll Doctrine, United States versus Carroll, and it means that if an officer has probable cause that could lead to the issuance of a search warrant for something in a car, because the car is movable and it's readily able to be moved and driven away or hidden, then they're allowed to search without the warrant as long as they have probable cause to have gotten a warrant. So they need to justify the probable cause. The way they do that is they take the dog around for a free air sniff. Now, in Tennessee, they're not allowed to take the dog inside the car and break the plane of the car without consent. And I'm sorry, I don't know in Kentucky if it must be legal for them to do that because they're doing it. In Tennessee, you wouldn't open the door and allow the dog inside the car. You would have to do the free air sniff around the car in order to develop probable cause to search the car. If the dog indicates on a free air sniff, then you can search without a warrant if you had the probable cause that would have led to a warrant. You're not required to go get the warrant because what you're wanting to search is mobile. If this were a home, it'd be different. If it's not movable, then you'd have to go get a search warrant if you had probable cause. You couldn't skip the search warrant if it was a home or a business or something that was not movable. Great question. Thanks for asking that. But in this case, they asked for consent and he said no. You missed that, and I missed it the first 2 or 3 times I watched this. But they asked him if they could search the car, and he said no. Well, then they proceeded to get the dog and run the dog all through the car, and then they said the dog indicated the presence of narcotics. So then they just go through and search the whole car.
I'm not going to have you run like that. There's the dog indicated on your vehicle. I don't know what's in your car, but like I said, I don't want you to run. So you're still just being detained. You're not free to go, but you're not under arrest at this time. I just don't want you to go anywhere, okay? But I'm not going to fight you, and I'm certainly not going to chase you. I had to chase some guy last night, and I haven't recovered from it, so I'm not chasing you today, okay?
Oh, you're such a Superman. I just want your autograph. I had to chase a man last night and I still haven't recovered from it. You're funny. You ought to be on stage at Zany's. I know I'm being sarcastic. I can't stand bully cops. I cannot stand bully cops. Absolutely can't stand them. If you have the privilege of wearing that badge, you should wear it with honor. I was a police officer for 10 years, and I absolutely loved my job, and I treated people with respect. I didn't treat people like this dredge of society here. He's a bully, and he needs to go.
That's all it is.
Hello. I'll come talk to you. Just do me a favor, hang out by the telephone pole.
What did you pull him over for?
I'll come talk to you, okay? Let's come over here for me.
There's nothing in there.
Okay.
It's my
Can we
car.
do me a favor and come back over here? I'm just giving you a reference for you. This way you can stay, man.
Okay.
Right? I'm the detective that pulled him over.
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, he committed a traffic violation right in
What
front
did
of me.
he do?
He conducted an improper turn on the 18th Street, Mount Algonquin.
I was on the phone with him the whole way.
Okay.
He said you were following him the whole way.
Okay.
There was no improper turn.
Okay. Well,
and he didn't give you
luckily
permission
enough
to
for
search.
you, ma'am. Luckily enough for you, everything was captured on body camera. Okay.
No, luckily enough for you.
Oh, really?
Actually, unlucky enough for you, she should have said.
Really?
But
Okay.
he didn't give you permission to
Okay.
search.
We
the
don't
car.
need his permission,
Yes,
ma'am.
you do.
We had a positive indication by the K9. Okay.
Oh my God.
So,
You
ma'am,
got to be kidding.
you guys are more than welcome to watch, videotape, whatever. Just do me a favor. Give us.
Now, put yourself in her position, okay? There are some people that are critical of how she reacted. I think she held it together pretty good. If that had been my son on the side of the road and you've got him in handcuffs, being detained because your dog indicated the presence of drugs on a car that was my car that he was driving, she knows there's no drugs in there. The kid told him there's no drugs in there. Of course, I've been lied to before. Cops, most people with drugs in their car are not going to tell the cop they're. I take that back. You'd be surprised how many people with drugs in their car actually tell the cop, yep, I've got drugs in the car, when they ask, do you have anything illegal in the car? So you'd be shocked at how many people would admit to that. But in a lot of cases, people will lie about it. And so cops have to do their job. But you know what? You have to follow the Constitution while you do your job there, officer.
Some room and stay over here, please. Ma'am, please stay over here. You're trespassing on private property right now.
Okay. You're trespassing on private property right now. Please stay over here. I'm exerting my authority and you're not following my directions. And I want to exert my power and authority over you. And I'm going to tell you exactly where you can stand. And it's not over here close where you can video. It's going to be back there by the telephone pole. It's going to be wherever I say it is. Because I'm going to come up with a reason that you can't stand there because you're trespassing. She's having none of it.
No, it's for sale.
Ma'am, stay over there, please.
No,
if you
I'm
approach
not.
my traffic stop,
This
I will
is my
take you.
son.
Ma'am, if you approach my traffic stop, I will
This is
take
my
you to
son.
jail.
That
I
is
don't
my
care.
car.
I do not
I don't care either.
You know what? Okay, great.
That was wise of him to walk off and not get into it with her because she was having none of it.
Ma'am, sir, can you do me a favor and talk?
No. She's standing back. We're standing back.
He started to say, sir, can you do me a favor and talk to your wife? Oh, man, that's just condescending right there.
Can you guys, I'm giving you a reference point to stand at, okay? It's right over here by these
I'm
yellow.
not bothering
Do you see where I'm pointing at?
No.
We sit back.
I'm giving you a reference point where you can stand. I'm telling you where you can stand. Now, let me tell you guys, for those that are going to be critical about this and cop lovers out there everywhere, I love the police. I support the police. I used to be the police. I support good cops. I don't support bully cops. I hate bully cops. I know what it's like to have somebody interfere in your traffic stop and to come into the traffic stop. She's not coming into the traffic stop. She wants to be close so she can hear what's going on with her son, and she has that right. And he needs to just back off and let her stand over there on the sidewalk. As long as she doesn't get between the cars and get within reaching distance of the car to hide evidence or to do something or to hurt or assault one of the cops, she's fine. Just let her stand over there. Why do you have to be the bully in the room over everything? Now, I'll get some haters, the back the blue and cops can do no wrong people. I'm a back the blue guy, but I don't believe that cops can't do any wrong. And I believe that cops very often will overexert their authority and power, and they do that on a regular basis. And this guy's doing it right here.
Yes, that would be amazing, please.
So we just sit back.
I'm not going nowhere.
That made me laugh too, because she told her husband, I'm presume it's her husband, I'm not going nowhere. And he's like, okay.
Hey, you do him? You do him? This person? Pockets?
I hear you, Shannon.
Spread the feet, please. Spread the feet.
And trust me, there's going to be a lawsuit after this. You can be sure of that.
Got like a little change pocket right there in the front.
That's how you turn around. Just put your butt back in this board. Thank you.
Why do you have, if you don't mind me asking, why do you have like this negative view towards the police?
Oh, this is great. This is absolutely biblical. It's so good. Let's just hear the officer's little condescending speech right here.
What's the deal? What's ever happened in your life personally where you're like, you can give me a good explanation?
You mean other than this? Other than being pulled over for making a wide right turn and you searching up my crotch area and running the dog through my car unnecessarily and escalating this traffic stop to something that it shouldn't have been. Other than that, pretextually, because I'm a black kid driving a nice car. Yeah. Other than that. Oh, okay.
Absolutely nuts.
Really?
When I graduated, I got a good ass job.
Right.
I graduated with 3 full-ride band scholarships. I never did shit in my life. I've been in the house all day.
So what's the problem? Like, why are we in this situation? Huh?
Yeah, because of you. Why are we in this situation? That's a good question. I've got scholarships. I go to school. I've got a great job. I've never been in trouble a day in my life. I mean, they can run this kid's history when they pull him over. If the kid had a history of drug possession, I can understand going beyond the scope of, hey, man, you made a wide right turn and, be careful not to do that next time. If they pull him over for that pretextual reason, they run his record and he's got 2 or 3 simple possessions and a drug paraphernalia on his record and a juvenile history. Maybe you go, okay, this kid might have some weed or there might be some drugs in the car. You've got no other evidence other than he's a black kid in a nice car that he's got drugs in his car. I don't understand why you have to escalate it, except for, and I say I don't understand, that's not really true. I really do understand because I used to be a cop and I understand that they have task force who do nothing but pull people over and look for drugs. And they put them in the high crime areas where you would expect to find drugs. And they disproportionately pull over black people in these high crime areas. And they do it for pretextual reasons. And then they allege that they smell weed sometimes. And maybe they do. In this case, they didn't smell weed. In this case, they asked for permission to search. He said no, and they ran the dog up his caboose. And that's why we're in this situation, officer.
We didn't do it.
Pull me over.
We made a traffic stop for your violation that you did.
All right, man. I don't want to talk.
And then you went up here with it. Huh? You did the entire time. We don't know who you are. I don't know that you graduated and you got several scholarships and that you have a good job. I mean, I don't know. It's not like I have a X-ray vision that says, oh, this is who's in this card. He's good to go. If you don't want to hear it, that's fine. You can continue with your negative view towards me, I guess.
No, you don't have X-ray vision. You just have vision that saw a black kid in a nice car. And you could have researched this kid and known more about him. You could have run his history. You have that capability right in your laptop. Now,
I just figured I'd try to.
I put in there that it was an illegal search. It wasn't technically an illegal search. In my opinion, it was an immoral search. I don't believe they had reasonable suspicion to even take this stop to that level. And this happens all over the country. This is not new. This is cops pull people over. They pull people over for sometimes pretextual reasons, and their end goal is to do a search of the car to see if they can find drugs. And that's what this task force does on a daily basis. I believe the lawsuit that follows this sued him and the chief and everybody involved. And a lot of information came out about that task force and the tactics that they used and how racially motivated they were. And I believe the lawsuit is still pending. This officer, spoiler alert, was suspended for, I guess, this investigation, but he was allowed to resign with this lawsuit pending. And guess what? He popped up in another city. He popped up in a city, and this is Louisville Police Department. He popped up in Jeffersonville Police Department. So he's still on the streets bullying the people of Jefferson City or Jeffersonville or whatever it is in Kentucky. It's a shame.
I understand it, but that's fine. Huh? I'll never understand.
All right, sir, here's your ID back.
Nope, you'll never understand it unless you're black.
All right, you've got court October 2nd for improper turning at 7 p.m. 600 West Jeff. Do you understand the reason why you stopped? All righty, have a wonderful day.
You understand the reason why you were stopped? He gave him maybe 5 seconds to answer that, and the kid's just kind of looking at it. He didn't understand why he was stopped. I mean, he understood why you said he was stopped, but the cop didn't even let him answer. He's like, okay, you have a nice day. I'm just giving you this. This is just a normal day for us. We're just giving you the citation. You should understand that, right? You can understand. Why we're just doing our job. We're here for you, brother. We're here for you. I wish I'd have known you was an A student and scholarship student, and maybe I wouldn't have stopped you. But I'm still going to write you this ticket after I've climbed up your caboose with a microscope and let the dog run all through your car and found no drugs. Shocker. So since I found no drugs, I can't give you a break on the wide right turn, right? Because that would be rewarding good behavior. You jackleg. I can't stand bully cops, people. Absolutely can't stand them.
Appreciate it, guys.
Okay. Well, that's video number 1. Now that I've got everybody good and amped up, let me really piss you off. This video was leaked to the media. So it came from probably a police officer or a friend of a police officer who said, you know what? This was really bad. I'm not going to let that settle. I'm not going to let this be hidden. A little background. This gentleman ran from the police, and I should run my little banner here. Sorry. For YouTube reasons, because they're probably going to put the warning on it as well. But I like to put that warning up just so I can be in compliance with the terms and conditions of YouTube. So this video was hidden. The police reports stated that this gentleman died from injuries that he sustained in an accident following a police chase. So I want you to be the judge. Did this man die from injuries he suffered in the accident?
Mr. Green was, to some degree, even though he had just finished leading police officers on a lengthy and a high-speed chase, his inclination at that particular point was to acquiesce to what the officers want.
Let me see your hands. Put your hands behind your back, bitch. Give me your fucking hands. Put your hands behind your back. Taser, taser, taser. Put your hands behind your back. Behind your back.
Now, for those of you that don't know what you just saw there, you saw, an abusive police officer. Did you hear him say taser, taser, taser? So that was for the camera's benefit. That wasn't for the gentleman's benefit. When you're trained to use the taser, you're told before you can use the taser, you have to warn the person that you're going to use the taser. You need to tell them verbally, I'm going to use the taser, give them an opportunity to let the threat of the taser force them into compliance with whatever you're trying to get them to comply with. So if you're trying to get them to get on the ground and they won't get on the ground, or they're coming at you and they're fighting you, the time frame that you have to do that might be really short, or it could be really long. In this particular instance, he didn't say it for the effect on the hearer. He said it for the purpose of the video catching him saying taser, 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 and being in compliance with the policy. Because you can tell he wasn't saying, I'm going to tase you, I'm going to tase you, taser, taser, taser. You remember the Dante Wright video where the police officer shot him and she thought she had her taser, and she did it correctly. She said, I'm going to tase you. I'm going to tase you. Taser, taser, taser. And, it's like a countdown, really. You tell them, I'm going to tase you. You tell them again, I'm going to tase you. And then you say, taser, 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 because the person might go, oh, okay. You're okay. Don't get to the third taser. Don't tase me. I'm giving up. And they might comply. But in this case, he wasn't doing it for that reason. So let's back up and watch that again and tell me what you think.
Put your hands behind your back, bitch. Give me your fucking hands. Put your hands behind your back. Taser, taser, taser. Put your hands behind your back. Behind your back. You're about to get it again if you don't put your fucking hands behind your back. Put your hands behind your back. I'm sorry.
What's problematic for me is that Mr. Green is now left on the ground, on his stomach, handcuffed in a prone position. And officers are trained throughout the United States that once there's a struggle of this nature, and the individual's handcuffed, that you need to push him off onto his side or get him in a sitting position so you can allow that breathing to be unimpeded by his own body weight. And that didn't happen for at least, based on my calculation, 9 minutes, where Mr. Green was left alone. And then when he wasn't left alone and he tried to get over onto his side, another trooper pushed him down using his foot against the lower back and buttocks of Mr. Green. And I didn't understand that. There was absolutely no reason for that. Under no circumstances should Mr. Green have been drugged by his ankle shackles. That was malicious, sadistic, completely unnecessary. And the officer that did it's going to have to be held accountable.
I hope so. I hope the officer is held to account. But I don't know. What did the car look like if the accident was so bad he died? Yeah, you can see the car here. It takes special kind of discipline to respectfully and responsibly arrest someone after they lead police on a chase, and these cops are not up to the task. Amen. Now listen, I get it. I've been in police chases a bunch. I've been in a lot of police chases. And, some of them get called off because they're dangerous. And, I've chased cars and I've chased motorcycles and I've chased people in excess of 150 miles an hour. And, your adrenaline really gets pumping in the chase. And at the end of the chase, It's easy to let your adrenaline and your emotions of the whole chase overtake your discipline. Cops are supposed to be a notch above average, okay? You're supposed to be professionals. You're supposed to be trained to be able to handle that kind of stress and anxiety and to be able to process that kind of stress and anxiety. And if you allow the stress and anxiety of a police chase to affect you to the point that you're just pounding on somebody and beating them into the ground, then you need to seek another line of work. It's just that simple. The car accident wasn't significant. I mean, the man got out and he was able to say, I'm sorry, I was scared. And let me just mute that. And I'll just see if I can click forward to where we can see the car. If I can see the car. It was quick, I know that. Right there. So it looks like his car might have hit another squad car head on, or at least, that's him in the car. They're about to pull him out of the car there. And so look at the wreck. It's not, he didn't wrap it around a tree. He hit the front of a police car, which clearly made the police officer angry. And the other cops around him were angry. And unfortunately, that man is dead today. And we live in a different world than when I was a police officer. Even I was a police officer in the 80s and the 90s. And I've been a defense lawyer now for 23 years, and I've worked for the DA's office a short time. I interned with them during my last year of law school. And so I've been on every side, and I understand the justice system and how it works and why it works. But I also understand that today, if a cop has to ask you why you've got this hate the police kind of attitude or a standoffish attitude with the cops, if you don't know that already, if you don't know why some black people in America feel like that they've been targeted. Now, I've been very vocal on this channel. I don't believe in systemic racism. I don't believe that the United States is systemically racist. I think it's the least racist country in the history of the world. I think the United States is the best place in the world to live if you're a person of color, whatever color. And I challenge you to find another nation where it would be better to be a black person or to be an Indian person or to be Hispanic. I challenge you. You can't. They don't exist. Countries like America don't exist. That's why you've got millions of people flooding the borders trying to come here. They're not coming here because this is a racist country. They're coming here because this is the best country in the world to live in. We have the greatest freedoms. We have the greatest constitution. We have the greatest founders, and we're founded on Christian principles, Judeo-Christian values. And it's the best nation in the world. And unfortunately, some people want to tear it down. But I do believe that police now need to realize that when they make a traffic stop of a young black man or a young black kid, and he calls his mom and puts her on speaker and sets it on the dash, that's a legitimate thing for him to do. And if you're a good cop, you would say, why don't you FaceTime her and let her see what's going on here? You can video. I'm videoing. I welcome you to video. I wish more cops would just do that. Cops get really standoffish when somebody does this, pulls up their video camera, and they get defensive over it. It's a shame because in this day and age, everybody that interacts with the police wants proof of what happened, and it's legitimate for them to want that. Honestly, I'm a white man. I don't know that I've got any black in me. I mean, I've got some, and I'm sure in my DNA. I don't know where I'm from exactly, but I'm not a black man. But if I got pulled over by the police today, I would want to. If they're going to search my car, certainly. If it's more than just a hey, Mr. Ridings, I clocked you at 93 miles an hour. Truly happened to me a few months ago. And, if I'm in the wrong, I'm not going to need to video a traffic ticket that I get. But if you start pulling me out of the car and wanting to search my car, you better believe I'm going to turn the video camera on. And every cop in America should expect that. It's just time that cops realize we're in a different world. And it's not a minor thing for you to pull over a 16-year-old boy and run your drug dog through the car. It's not minor. It's not something that he should just go, oh, that's another Tuesday. I don't care how many cars you're going to pull over after him. You should be ashamed of yourself, officer. And I feel sorry for the people of Jeffersonville, Kentucky, who have to deal with you now. Because honestly, that investigation that suspended you and you were able to resign from should have been turned over to the Post Commission. And the Post Commission should have suspended your license to be a police officer so you couldn't resign while under investigation and pop up in another city. That's exactly what happens, and that's one of the biggest problems we have in policing. It's why we have so many bullies that go undetected for years. That and the blue code of silence. But we're working on it. We're working to change the problem, and we're trying to get people on board with our movement. So if you're involved, or if you're interested in being involved, you ain't seen nothing yet. Go to standagainstdarkblue.com and sign our citizen petition, our pledge. And if you're a police officer or former police officer or retired, sign our police officer pledge and join the fun. Listen, I can't thank you enough. All you guys that send me videos and message me and watch the show and comment. It just makes the show. It makes it more fun. And I appreciate it very much. So be sure to like and subscribe and share this video with a friend. And we'll be back tomorrow. I've got some other videos in the queue that are coming up that are just, you're not going to believe them. I don't believe them. I can't believe cops can be. There's one that it's just clear he's a racist. And I normally say I don't have any evidence that this cop's a racist. I've got one coming for you tomorrow. He's a racist. So be sure to join us. Thanks so much for watching. We'll be back tomorrow.
Tell me now, you ain't seen nothing yet.